Wednesday, 9 a.m. Whistler Search and Rescue receives a call for a missing snowboarder. Evan Malik, a 24-year-old up-and-coming musician and snowboarder with 16 years' experience, was living in Whistler only 2 weeks when he was reported missing by roommates after failing to return home the previous night.
He's got blue jacket, black pants, and an orange tube.
We've got a lost skier. We think he's down in the Fitzsimmons Creek. And we're just kind of starting to gather some information and write that up on our board here.
He's not known to go out of bounds.
He was last seen heading for Seventh Heaven, an area on the far left of Blackcomb Mountain that has some heavily treed and black diamond runs. Whistler Blackcomb Ski Patrol shut down the lift, clear skiers out, and search the area.
We don't like to do it, but we do it because if we have a concern that someone's down in a tree well, we would prefer to find them sooner rather than later.
Evan is not found within the slopes of the Seventh Heaven. He must be out of bounds in Blackcomb's huge backcountry area.
We suspected that the subject had entered an out-of-bounds area in Fitzsimmons Creek. This is an area that's well known to us to contain hazardous terrain.
The search area is located in the valley between Whistler and Blackcomb Mountains. There's a lot of ground to cover.
11 o'clock or so now. We just attended the heliport. We'll be flying out to Fitzsimmons Creek looking for Evan, our snowboarder.
Gavin Christie, along with 2 other Whistler SAR members, scanned the heavily treed mountainside for any sign of Evan. Just minutes into the flight, word comes over the radio.
All SAR radios, subject has been located. Stand down, repeat, stand down at this time.
Evan has been located, safe and sound, far from the search site.
So that pretty well concludes our mission. He was located at home. So our team is now standing down, and we'll just have to debrief how the communication went and who he was supposed to be checking in with.
Anytime a missing person is located alive and well, it's a successful mission for SAR. But in this case, much of the search could have been avoided.
So another one of our searchers.
Evan is brought back to the SAR base for a debriefing.
Hi, Evan, pleased to meet you. Come on in.
We'll debrief a subject after a search, trying to define better what the lost person behavior is, what drove that person to decide to go out of bounds or otherwise engage in an activity that led them into this problem.
So it's important for us to understand what's going through your mind at the time. So when you got off the lift at the top of Seventh Heaven, what was your intent?
Yeah, I mean, it's early morning, the sun is shining, it's beautiful out. There's hardly anyone on the mountain, so you want to find the freshest area.
And I saw the fresh tracks, you know, in the distance, and I traversed as far as I could go, and there were still people around at that point, so I still felt comfortable, but, you know, there were only 3 or 4 of them. This is the earliest tracks of the day. And I'm cruising around, carving beautiful, beautiful snow. And eventually I'm on my own.
This particular backcountry area has several opportunities to return to the inbound slopes.
You saw signs that you went outside the boundary? You knew?
No, I saw a sign that said exit while I was in the back, and I was in total control. I wasn't.
Oh, I'm not, without a doubt, you were in control. What I'm saying is
there was a sign that said
no,
exit.
No exit?
No, it says exit.
I decided to keep going because I figured I'd have another opportunity to rejoin the mainstream mountain.
The opportunity never came, and Evan was not prepared for the conditions that followed.
Millions of people come to enjoy Whistler Blackcomb, as they do many of British Columbia ski resorts. And while they're here, they enjoy the safety and comfort of a controlled recreation area, complete with ski patrols, avalanche forecasts. It's like a big comfy couch. However, when they choose to lift that line or otherwise ski out of the ski area boundary, it's like Fight Club. And there is a whole host of dangers that can take you down.
Once they get out there, if you keep going downhill, it doesn't necessarily bring you to a lift. It could bring you to another mountain range.
It was still early afternoon when Evan realized he was in a bad spot.
The terrain is getting more and more challenging. I'm getting less and less energy, not having eaten anything that day, not having brought anything to sustain me. I'm getting pretty scared at this point. And then I receive a text message. As my phone vibrates, I reach out to see what's written. As soon as I read the message, the phone dies in my hand. Battery's completely dead. I try to revive it, not possible. And I realize, not where I'm supposed to be.
Did you have any overnight gear or any backpack or any traveling touring gear? So we really don't look fondly upon that. We prefer that people who go into our backcountry have the skills and the tools to do it. We get a lot of people who think rescue gear is a lighter, you know, and a cell phone. And that simply just doesn't cut it anymore.
Evan hadn't intended to go so far off the beaten path. As he got further down, the conditions got even worse.
The trees just became too thick, and my board got jammed between two of them, and I had to take the board off and start hiking. I'm just trying to get down in one piece at this point.
The unfortunate consequence of taking your skis off is that you tend to become unsteady on your feet and can incur serious injury.
Evan makes his way down to a clearing and sees a landmark, the peak-to-peak gondola. He waves his board frantically, trying to make himself visible to the gondola riders. When this doesn't produce any results, he makes his way down even further, to the bank of Fitzsimmons Creek.
That area is very steep. You can get wet. You get wet in the mountains without any gear, you're basically done.
In the debriefing, Evan learns how lucky he is to have gone through this area and survived.
We pulled a girl out 2 years ago. She had done exactly the same thing as you. Exactly the same. Unfortunately, she succumbed, and we found her deceased right down in here. Okay, in the creek bed.
With dusk fast approaching and no supplies, Evan makes camp for the night.
I didn't want my mother the next morning to receive a phone call saying that her son had been found frozen in the ground.
As night falls, Evan is at the mercy of the weather and the wildlife. He spends a long, cold night in his soaking wet clothes.
And when I woke up in the morning and I could move my toes and I could move my legs and I wasn't frozen, I just decided to walk. And I come out to this clearing where there's a snowmobile track.
The snowmobile track leads him out of the woods. At 9:30 Thursday morning, Evan finds his way to the village and stops for something to eat. At this point, the ski patrol has already begun searching for him on Blackcomb.
I should have touched base as soon as I got down, but it's kind of like a traumatic experience where you're just like, I didn't eat breakfast yesterday. And,
He returns home at 11 o'clock and contacts Whistler SAR, who are now combing the backcountry by ground and air.
I didn't know what they had expended in terms of time, money, and energy in order to try and find me.
At the debriefing, Brad aims to transform Evan's negative experience into a positive message to others.
For that, reason that we do get mad is if you have to pull somebody that's succumbed out of a creek while they were having fun, you tend to see things a little bit different.
Yeah.
Not coming down on
No, I know.
What you become now for us is a disciple. Okay, and you go out and you preach the word.
No, I want to be that for you. It's a pleasure to be alive.
Evan is one of the lucky ones, back doing what he loves and eager to share his story.
Over a week ago, I almost died on Blackcomb Mountain spending the night.
So now I'm here to tell my story to make sure that people don't make the same mistakes that I have and that people can learn from what I experienced.
We are Fitzsimmons Creek.